Good evening, everyone! Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitate, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are talking about Raw this week was in Portland, Oregon. Now, big thing before we get into the show, quick overview for the feel for it. It was, well, compared to last week's, it sucked. There's no nice way to put it. I mean, there was a lot of, I guess you could say, gaga going on everywhere with it, and it was just, man, that they were riding so good off of the post-Rumble, and now it's just, man, Now, big news that did break over the course of the week. They were saying that apparently Dean Ambrose is not renewing his contract, and therefore is not renewing his contract after WrestleMania. Now, none of this was said on the show. However, they did say it on Twitter, and part of it does feel a little worked. If you want to go and throw around insider terms, but it was more so just like, I don't know. It feels storyline. Just because, they broke it on Twitter, and not only that, the way they did it, they just said, effective after WrestleMania, John Goodman, or Jonathan, I can't remember on how to, they used Ambrose's real name and then parentheses Dean Ambrose. Never used his Twitter handle. Not for obvious reasons, we all know Dean doesn't use Twitter, but they'll use his Twitter handle to plug everything, including a t-shirt that he has. Any t-shirts he has. But they didn't on this one, and, not only that, when do they ever announce somebody is not renewing a contract before they do? Not only that, apparently there's so many different rumors set. Yep, and this is what cracks me up. So many of the dirt sheet writers out there and the dirt sheet journalists like Dave fucking Meltzer and shit, go and try and say that, oh, well, this person's not going to renew, so they might go into AEW and all that. At the rate they're saying this person and that person's not renewing their contracts, I'm pretty sure that at this point, Uncle Dave's wound up saying that the entire freaking WWE roster isn't renewing their contracts and is going to AEW. Speaking of, just one thing, get crystal fucking clear about AEW. It's not that I'm against it. It's, they don't have anything else going on at this point except the fact they have t-shirts. They have, they have a show announced they got a show announced coming up in Las Vegas, but that's it. They've announced, people want to make the remarks, well, until nobody buys in, people buy into the hype of WrestleMania before any matches are announced and this, that, and the other. It's because the way they fucking did, because the way Vince fucking did it, he put the product over the talent, and he promoted the product to make the product seem like a fucking $1 billion investment over the talent. And the way, I'm sorry, but the way AEW is looking at this point, I don't see that yet. So, I'm not getting in on it yet. And people want to go and say they're an alternative to WWE and all. So what the fuck does that leave Ring of Honor, New Japan, Combat Zone, Evolve, What the hell does that leave TNA even? Seriously, there are plenty of alternatives out there. This is just the brand new shiniest. This is just the brand new shiny toy at the front of the aisle. So don't go buying into the hype and drinking the Kool-Aid just yet, kids. Now with that said, we got all that out the way. Let's get back onto the show, get back on track. Raw, Portland, Oregon starts off. The MILF in charge, one Mrs. Stephanie McMahon. Whew. Good God. She comes out, introduces Becky Lynch. Becky, she limps down, and then the impossible happens. It's hard to determine which is hotter in tight leather pants, Stephanie or Becky. Stephanie, Becky. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera... Damn it, man, focus. Sorry. Steph's out there hyping up her on how Becky fought tooth and nail to win in the spot, win in the Rumble with one good leg. She was the, how she was the legitimate one-legged woman in an ass-kicking contest, paraphrasing, mind you, and all that. And then hits the nail on the head. You haven't been medically cleared yet. You refuse to see a doctor. I don't need to see a doctor. And yes, that was a very horrible attempt at doing a Becky Lynch accent. Just fucking work with it. So they squabble for like a half a second, saying on how Becky needs to see a doc. Beck saying she don't, and if you... And then Steph winds up bringing it home, saying, if you don't get seen by one of our doctors, I'm going to have to suspend you indefinitely. You do that, you're going to regret it. So then don't give me a reason to. Are you going to see a doc, one of our docs? No. Well, then you leave me no choice. You are effective this moment immediately. You are indefinitely suspended. After that, Becky winds up taking a Stone Cold route. Wham! Decks her. Decks Steph. Then goes to lock in the disarmer. Goes to pulls it up. Next thing you know, just she's about to go and put some torque on it. Boom. Stops. Hobbles off for a second because her knee winds up giving. And then decks a handful of the security that's down there. Next thing you know, you see her get escorted out. So, yeah. Ronda winds up throwing some cheap shots at her about all that and all. So, yeah, honestly, and like I said, she's taking the Stone Cold route. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form I think they're going to try and build Becky Lynch into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin because, well, let's just face facts. It was only one Stone Cold Steve Austin, and, he was what he was. He was the fucking man. As great as Hulk Hogan was to make the business what it was in the 80s, Steve Austin took that and fucking skyrocketed it in the 90s and made it, made wrestling what it is now. Because made wrestling as popular as it is now. That's just it, hands down. Whether you love or hate Stone Cold, that's the cold hard truth right there. And yeah. So I think they're gonna try and take some elements from Steve. Case in point, Becky hitting Steph, just like Steve would go after Vince, but I don't see too much. Like I said, I don't see them trying to have her be a carbon copy of Steve Austin. But yeah, now let's get on with the show. First match of the night, Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey. This was the piss break. This is the piss break of the night. So yeah, piss break of the night. Ronda winds up locking in an armbar real quick. Next thing you know, calls out Sarah Logan saying, "Come on, I came here to fight. How about you, Sarah? Huh? I bet you want to come in here. Why don't you try and get in here and then skin me like one of your rabbits, huh?" Next thing you know, they get in. Sarah Logan, she hits a few shoulder checks in the corner. They cut the commercial. They come back. Ronda's on top of her. Boom, 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 pounding her. Next thing you know, boom, armbar again. Next thing you know, calls out Ruby. She just looks like, No. And then when she gets asked why in the back, I have to take care of my friends. Good heel move right there, you know? Instead of trying to play to like saying, no, I know not to get my ass kicked, this, that, and the other. No, I didn't, I had to take care of my friends. They were hurt. What kind of person would I be? Huh. You know? So now we get the next match. It is a fatal 4-way tag team match. Winner winds up getting a shot at the tag titles. We got Heavy Machinery, the Lucha House Party. Yay. The Revival and the B Team. Which means we really only got 2 tag teams that I can really care for in this. Bet you can guess which ones. So yeah, Lucha House Party winds up leading it at the bell, but Heavy Machinery winds up pretty much leading the match after the break. One thing did notice though, and I did mention it to my good buddy, The Masked Mark, at Just a Stupid Mark out there on the Twitter. You know, me and him both wound up coming to the same conclusion. Lance Dorado, he's pretty much the WWE's very bad attempt at Mr. Kitty Whiskers, who was El Tigre, I think, back in TNA during the Dixie Carter era, which most people tend to try to black out. I'm one of them, but can't. Love to, but can't. So yeah. Other than that, though, yeah, Heavy Machinery, they wound up doing it. And I'm just waiting for the day when Corey Graves winds up making a joke on how, you know, on how Divosevic, when he goes and does the worm, that they all say he calls the caterpillar. I'm just waiting for the day where he winds up saying, looks more like a beached whale. Because, honest to God, that was the first thing my son said when he first saw when he first saw Otis do that. You know, he was just like, he was like, that's a worm? Yeah. Yeah, bud. Looks like looks like a beached whale. Just nonchalant. And he didn't mean that. And before people start getting into a fucking rage about, like, trying to say he's a big guy, this, that, and the other. You know, no, he wasn't saying, he was saying that because, honestly, Otis is fucking like that. Like, I'm not even sure the man has a neck. He's that... You know, he's the literal type you would see that does massive powerlifting. So, yeah, he's got that look. And when, you know, you see somebody that big move like that, what the fuck else you gonna think? You know, I'm just hoping at one point Corey Graves winds up making that joke just because I would die laughing hearing him do that. But, match winds up coming to an end when, out of nowhere, the Revival wind up coming in. They wind up hitting a shatter machine on Bo Dallas, who was in there. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Now, to rewind some time ago, there was rumor going around that the Revival were asking for their release, and apparently they're not getting it, and this, that, and the other. And here's the thing. I don't think they're gonna get I don't think they did ask for a release. I think they were... Let me rephrase that. I think they may have, but I think they were told no just because, you know, they got told, we got something lined up for you. We're going to have something lined up for you down the road. It's just going to be in this short amount of time. We just need you to hold out. If you guys just hold out, and then wait for what we have planned for you to fruit and blossom. If you're not happy, okay. That's what I think it is. I ain't 100% accurate, and I don't claim to be some dirt sheet jack-off that listens to people from second and third hand that eavesdropped on somebody to call and tell me, you know. So, I don't know for certain. So next matchup, we got women's qualifying tag match for the women's tag title elimination chamber match. Sasha and Bayley going against Alicia Foxx and Nikki Cross. And okay, Alicia Foxx and Nikki Cross. This is like the crazy leading to crazier, and not quite sure which one's which. All I know is you put all four of them together, standing next to each other, and you will see me legitimately get chills go down my spine and see the hair on my arms raise and get goosebumps and all, because it's just like it's a council of my exes plotting my downfall. And if you knew my track record, you would truly, truly understand how that would be. So yeah. Yeah, and now what was probably the highlight of this match was as Bayley, not even Sasha and Bayley, just Bayley was coming out. Next thing you know, boom! They wind up both attacking Bayley, and then they beat up Sasha in the back and drag her out. And then they beat them up on the entryway, and then they finally get in the ring. And the other thing that was the biggest takeaway, Corey Graves even fucking called it. Sasha didn't tag in at all during this match. She didn't tag in once. You know, Bayley was in there from start to finish, was the team punching bag non-stop. And this relatively short match wind up coming to an end just as Foxy, yeah, it was, pretty sure it was Foxy. No, it was Nikki. Just as Cross was like about to go into a running charge at Bayley, who was leaning up on the post, and it was the only thing keeping her standing, Sasha pulled her out of the way. Next thing you know, boom. Nikki hits that, she's down. Bayley winds up getting thrown back into the ring from Foxx, winds up going to do something. Next thing you know, Bayley winds up doing a quick roll-up, 1, 2, 3, that's it. So, yeah. And honestly, as much as we would all like somebody other than Sasha and Bayley to be the first women's tag champs, we all know more than likely that's going to be the case. Like I said, personally, I would like it to be heels. And I mean like I would like the heels to be the champions first, to be the first inaugural, just because then you got them bragging, oh yes, we're the champs, we're the best. And all that shit. And then next thing you know, just build to the match at WrestleMania where whatever face, you know, we'll even say Sasha and Bayley for that one. Just to build to that anticipation of them like, oh man, I can't wait to see them lose them titles. Just for that. Next matchup okay, I never thought I would ever do this in a million years, especially on a Monday Night Raw, but calling a match that was calling a Jeff Jarrett match. The last time I watched Jeff Jarrett perform a live match, not even a live match. The last time I watched Jeff Jarrett do a match was back when he still had Global Force Wrestling. You know? Just, whew. That was something. So yeah. Jeff Jarrett going against Elias, and just, yeah, it was something alright. Road Dogg was out there with them. They did their number doing, spend my days working hard on the go. Wait, this isn't that podcast, so I can't do that here. That ain't as popular. It ain't as popular on here as it is there. So yeah, sorry. But, so yeah. Now, some people were questioning why have Jeff come out with his old country music gimmick instead of his Attitude Era music, which was a lot nicer, and fully agree. Very much so like the, you know, that hard country down, down, down kind of tune that he had for the Attitude Era compared to his original one. But you think about it, that wouldn't have gone, that would have actually clashed, because then it would have been, because he had that music when he was doing the don't piss me off and men are better than women shit compared to the ain't I great shit. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I got nothing against Jeff. You know, the guy. You know, I met the man myself. I got to meet the man myself, stand next to him, look him dead in the eyes, and I could see the man's got a true love for the business. So you know, I give him that. He really does. Yeah, he's from what I've seen him from what I've seen of him, he's a decent man, and I give him credit. You know, for doing everything he's done in it. Now, this just felt like it was completely unnecessary though. Because, you know, I didn't see any reason for Jeff to be on TV. I know he signed some type of a deal with WWE. I don't know if he's like in a talent recruiting role or whatever, but hopefully it's something that fits him well. But just him doing a match with Elias, of all people, just, nah. Now, Elias pretty much just led this match from start to end, and it came to an end when him doing a drift away. At the end, though, he went to go and he was taunting Road Dogg. Road Dogg wound up throwing out his little bits of jute and jive. Suck it, and as he was about to go and hit the final shot, whoa, wait. And then Jeff, wham, El Kabong right to the back. Right to Elias's back. And maybe it was the way the camera hit it, but the way the guitar hit his back, it didn't look like the guitar broke. And Elias looked like he was legitimately hurt. Like, wait, shit, was that a gimmick guitar? Or was that a prop? Was that like a gimmicked guitar, or was that a legitimate one? Because that didn't break. And then wound up seeing Jeff flipped it around. The backside was broke. That's it. So, don't know for certain, but, you know, once Elias was out on the ring, he was, and you see the ref go over to him, and then the second they showed the ref go over, they cut the camera straight to Road Dogg and Jeff, so don't know for certain. Fingers crossed, though, he ain't. You know, not very few people I will ever really wish legitimate harm on. You know, Riott being one of them. We'll get, swear, one of these days I'll actually do some, I will knuckle down and do an entire shoot episode on how much of a fucking waste of space Ryback is. So, moving forward, next matchup we got Finn Balor. It's originally scheduled to be Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. As Lashley comes out, him and Leah, whoa. Finn, look at you. You are nowhere near, in any type of way, ready to face someone like me. However, you're more than suitable to face the man of the hour, Lio Rush. And tell you what, if you entertain me enough, I'll consider giving you a title shot. So those are Bobby Lashley's words. So now we got Finn versus Lio. This was Leo's Monday Night Raw debut match, I believe. But man, this kid was fucking amazing, you know. And me and my buddy Darren Axel Mulligan on the Twitter, we've talked about it. We talked about it before, back when Lio was a new prospect in Ring of Honor. The guy is just pure talent. Not only that, the one thing that's amazing about him is his age. He's only about 24, 25. So he's got years ahead of him. He keeps his head together, you know. Keeps his head together. He stays on the right track, doesn't do nothing stupid. He could go for a long fucking ride in this company. And there's no doubt on that. And man, just like I said, the kid's just pure talent. He's got a hell of a figure, you know. He's got a hell of a cut. He looks like he's freaking chiseled out of granite, even if he is only 130. He can talk. He can work, you know. Plus, he can do plenty of high-fly stuff to please the high-flying spot monkeys. And he can he can go. And that's great to see. Now, back to the match at hand though. Finn wound up getting attacked by Lashley before the bell even rang, because right after he said, if you entertain me enough, I'll give you a title shot. Lashley, boom, kicks Finn right in the ribs where he has some K-tape patched around it, where it was sore from getting beat down. And so, yeah. Now, Leo wound up leading. Leo, pretty much for the most part, was leading this match. And normally, I'm kind of against when you have the heel leading 99.9% of the match. And I'm not doing this because I'm trying to, like, kiss up to him or whatever. But this was a debut. Let him have the fucking moment. Let him get his shit in. Let him show the world who he is. And then let Finn get in the win. Because that just makes him... Because then it's just, okay, we already have plans for Finn. He's already a top draw. So, hell, we gotta build... Hell, let's work to build... We'll build Leo up like that soon enough. But for right now, let's make Finn win. So, yeah. Finn winds up getting the win with the coup de grace. Right after that, he slides right on out of the ring before Lashley can come out and attack him. Bobby actually got thrown out at the beginning of the match because before Finn was about to go and do like a suicide dive, Lashley just pulled him out from under the ring. Didn't lay a hand on him after he pulled him out though. Ref saw it and said, "Whoa, no, 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 no." And before and everyone's thinking, oh, the ref's going to throw out. Ref's going to throw out. And then he's like, you, out. And then throws Bobby out. So, yeah. Now, next matchup, very much so impromptu out of nowhere. Dean Ambrose going against EC3, which he got his Monday Night Raw debut match finally. And this came to be because Alexa, which, whew, man... You could hear me yelling it all. You could hear me yelling it all the way from the Vicious Studios. Zeke, get my heart pills! When Alexa came out and just, whew, oh God Almighty, Alexa Bliss, no, ha. Okay, enough now. Alexa Bliss was out there, doing Moment of Bliss, introduced EC3, and the one thing that I absolutely love and hate that they're doing with EC3 at this moment is they're not letting him speak. Every time he's right about to, something comes up and stops him. And in this case, it was just as he was about to speak, Nia comes out. She goes and plugs on how her and Tamina are going to win the tag titles at Elimination Chamber. And then Ambrose comes out, which... No, I did not actually cover this last week, but I apologize for that. But what it was, last week after Ambrose had a match against Rollins, he sat in the ring, was about to cut a promo, and then Nia came out and interrupted out of nowhere. Ambrose came out to do the same to her. Like, listen, Nia, understand you got this sexual frustration and tension built around me because I'm a good-looking guy, but no, you're going to have to deal with those issues on your own. And then winds up, so somehow a Moment of Bliss wound up getting turned into an Ambrose asylum, and it was what it was. He wound up doing this normal shtick with EC3. So, you're EC3, right? Oh, what happened to the other two? Where's EC1 and 2? Why do you always sit in the back looking like some creepy Chippendale dancer? If you're here to work, why haven't you gone down to that ring yet? So, basically, doing that, and then EC3 winds up, boom, hitting Dean, and then walks back. No, or not back, I'm sorry, to the ring. Which then leads to the match, had a nice pace, flow, it was a good debut match. EC3 was leading it, and as Matt Hardy would say, the third Ethan Carter got the win, doing a jackknife roll-up. Just grabbed the legs, flipped over, jackknife, 1, 2, 3, that was it. So, yeah. Now we come to the main event of the night. Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin going against Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle. This came to be because Kurt was out on the show, partway through, looked like he was about to give a retirement speech, and then Corbin interrupted him. And then after he did, McIntyre came out. They both started talking about on how they've taken down and dismantled Kurt. You know, he's nowhere near the man he once was, all this, that, and the other. Excuse me. And then, just as he did that, next thing you know, Strowman comes out, winds up taking them both out, and then that gets led to this match. And Kurt leading at the start, and winds up becoming eventually the team punching bag after the break. Yep. Next thing you know, Strowman, he gets the hot tag, he clears house, he starts beating them all. Kurt winds up getting the final tag in for the night, and he winds up getting turned into a punching bag again, as he is. Next thing you know, Strowman, he comes in, tries to step in to stop it. Ref keeps yelling at him, about backing off of Corbin's. Like, come on, you can't do this. You can't do this. If you keep doing this, I'm going to have to throw it out. So he ignores the ref, proceeds to beat the shit out of him. So yeah, the match winds up getting thrown out. It's a flim-flam because Braun Strowman stays in there, beats the shit out of Baron Corbin, and yeah. So that's basically it for this week. So folks, like all normal, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Do also have another account if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. I'm also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. And if you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. On my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I don't think you got your creep, John Gome. Also, mad ups to my executive producer, Alva Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. If you also want one of these sweet-ass Ollie Rewind shirts, hit me up and I'll talk to Ollie for you. Show the man some love and support. Also, folks, do not forget to check out all of these cool-ass folks right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, my good brother and Danny Sunday, DSB_IV, Cranky Grandpa, Dazzy MWP, as well as Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.